such projects. If won by an agency other than APAC member, may suffer a setback in the area of implementation.
Plenty package, why you can't still they manage? Why you the stress, why you the worry? Are you late, oh yeah? You got everything you need.
You can choose to manage everything else, but not your data. Get more out of life with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# today. Data is life.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Hello, welcome to the interview segment on Marketing Edge, and on today's edition I have Paul Ugoagwu, the CEO of STB McCan. Thank you very much for your time. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today. Okay, now I'd like to have your own description of this development. Would you also call this a positive development? How, or negative, would you say?
Well, anything that allows, any process that allows some kind of verification, that makes sure you pay for what you got and you have value, it's good. And it allows both parties, both the supplier and the client, to breathe properly. So it pays everybody. You know, of course, if you adhere strictly to those rules, then it's like, you know what you're expecting, you know when you're expecting it, and then you can plan along with it.
Let's talk about your company now. It's 29 years since establishment, STB McCan. How would you assess your growth so far?
It's 29 years. It was established in 1990, and that same year it started as STB and Associates, and then it got affiliated to McCan Erickson, so it became STB McCan that same year. And that same year we got into the big league because we got the Coca-Cola account, and it just put us in the big league at the very onset, you know. And then from there till now, the agency has maintained its status among the big players. We're very competitive. We do good jobs. We have big clients. We maintain our international status, and we're looking at being more relevant in the industry.
And to what extent would you say you've been able to meet up with your vision and mission? Every company has one, and it's really clear-cut.
Our vision is to be the number one in providing solutions to clients' marketing problems. You know, clients have marketing challenges, problems, and we are there to partner with them. So we are like an extension of the marketing arm of our clients. And to that extent, we want to make their brands relevant to the people, to their customers, to the country. And in that wise, we're doing very well.
Let's look at your company's competitive edge. Now, what makes your knife the sharpest in the industry?
It's professionalism, and we're very, very strategic. In marketing communication, strategy is everything. In other words, you do not just go into the marketing battlefield without having a strategy, without getting very strong insights. We call our core value something like truth well told, which means finding the truth about the brands we manage and making those truths relevant. It's based normally on insights, strong consumer insights. That's what differentiates us. So when you see our products out there, they are not coming out from the blues. They are coming from deep research, deep insights within the community where we operate. That's what makes us strong.
And what's your mantra, your agency's philosophy?
The mantra is, again, truth well told. Creativity comes from truth of the brand, you know, to make sure that the solutions that we give they stand out. They stand the clients out from the crowd.
And how would you also assess your inputs now since you came on board over the years so far?
Okay, let me give a brief history to that. I'm not entirely new. I got into STB McCan in 2002 as the creative director on Coca-Cola business. And I was there till 2009. And between that time, I was trained in South Africa in the South African McCan agency between 2004 and 2005. And then I came back, and I've gone through so many departments. I was creative director, I was a strategic planning director, I was new business director. So I've gone through all those phases. So I left sometimes in 2009 to pursue other interests. So I only came back last year. And since I came back last year, there was a reason why I came back, and it's just to bring back that very core McCan tradition of infusing more professionalism, managing the business properly, making sure that we have round pegs in round holes, and to take our pride of place in the committee of brand communication.
From your years of experience, what would you also say are the biggest challenges you've identified with big advertising companies?
Thank you. Because big advertising agencies are affiliated to their international brothers. That is why businesses also move with affiliation. So, for instance, there may be a different agency handling some multinational accounts right now. So it makes the agency maybe big today, and then tomorrow, if those businesses move to another agency by virtue of affiliation change, it makes the other agency. So that's just it. So there are swinging fortunes, where today you have big clients, tomorrow you may not have so big clients. So your duty is to make sure that you grow the local clients as well. You get clients that are not necessarily referred to you by your affiliation.
And now, looking at your 5-year plan, because I believe every business has one in the short term, middle term, and long term, but let's focus on 5 years now. What does STB McCan hope to achieve in terms of penetration, looking at the advertising and marketing community in Nigeria and beyond?
We're already making impact. These days, when you invite us to like what we call pitches, and you mentioned the name of STB McCan, then you got to be a bit afraid, if you are competition, because in the last few months we've won pitches, and I'm not going to mention names of those we competed against, but we've won big businesses. Recently we just finished one called Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition. It was an international pitch competition between us and so many other agencies, which we won. We just finished Facebook. And some other clients. Sometimes it's not too strategic to talk about those things. What I'm just saying is that in the next 5 years, when you hear our name, no matter the level you are, big, medium, not so big, you got to be a bit afraid.
And your growth prospects?
We hope to double what we have currently. To remember that growth projections, we also need to look at the economy. How the economy is doing and where the big spenders are. But we intend to double whatever we are running right now. We intend to branch off into new areas of marketing communication. Let me give you an example. In the last couple of years, we've begun to carve out a niche for ourselves as the best agency for behavioral change communication. So in other words, we have these big NGOs who want to move behavior, from this practice to that practice, and we're doing a lot of that. So we're getting to the agency of record for such specialized communication, and we are getting the numbers in. So we intend to do more of that, do more of digital and other things.
I would describe you as a bowl of optimism. How would you describe yourself, Paul?
Paul is a regular guy who wants to play his part, make his mark in the communication industry, to leave something behind for coming generation. Like I said, I started my career a long time ago. I have like 28 years experience in the business. I've been a teacher. For instance, I did NYSC, University of Maiduguri, 1990. I taught in their mass communication department. I've taught at APCON as a part-time lecturer, pro bono. We've set up academies even in-house called Young Guns Academy. I'm an author. I've written a couple of books, one in advertising, one in storybook. All these things are to ensure that you leave something for the upcoming generation, to leave the industry better than we met it, and to leave something for others to actually work on.
And talking about what you'd like to be known for, your legacy, your philosophy, what would that be?
Integrity, professionalism. I like to stand before anybody and before God to say that in this business, I've been very professional. We don't do underhand practices. We do things according to conscience, according to best practices. And we have innovated to make sure that the industry is better off for it.
And if I may ask, who is your role model, or who are your role models?
I'll say my father, late father, because that was a man who operated with a conscience, who had the general good of people, not overly ambitious, inordinately ambitious, no, but who the good book says, do unto others as you want others to do unto you. Who did his best within the means available, to him. So I would say my father.
Thank you very much for your time, Paul. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
It's now a wrap on the interview segment. On Marketing Edge, we've been speaking with the Chief Executive Officer of STB McCan.
Hello, food already. Have you not go chop today?
Today na my cheat day.
So what do you want?
Give me 2 wraps of pound.
Excuse me, madam. The client has just arrived and will be upstairs very soon.
All right, send him right up. Thank you. Hey, Mama, make I see that brocoto.
You know, see, for red brocoto and assorted meat.
That one.
Madam, tell me now. Customer novice, which one you want? Amala, Ewedu, Pomo, and then brocoto. No, customer don't buy it. Ebola, Abenyo, spirit of human being.
Okay, no fire, na my business.
Internet customer. Abeg, give me brocoto. When she come, you will give am another one.
Okay, no fire.
Don't miss out on life's little pleasures. Upgrade to the super fast and reliable MTN 4G network.
Let me need to.
Voted the best TV station of the year. TVC News goes wherever the big news stories are happening, and for that we are geared up. TVC News, first with breaking news.
People turn on their TV for news. They want the facts, they want it straight, and they want the big stories of the day right now. At TVC News, we know Nigeria is moving fast. There's a lot going on and a lot to take in. With news bureau and reporters all over Nigeria, we capture the stories that matter first, fast, balanced, and accurate. That's why we are first with breaking news.